At this point, we need a think piece on and a deep case study on what the hell was going on the set of Empire.
For the men, because the women are flourishing.
Yeah.
Grace Byers coming out with another book. Taraji just at the top. You saw she just landed that role as Suge.
Precious.
Gabri Sidibe found love. Do not do that. She done had roles after Precious. No, she did not say, Gabby, it was not me.
Welcome back to episode 82 of Nightmare Radio. It's your girl, HD Zach.
And it's Brittany Kristen. We thank you so much for choosing this podcast because you know you could have been at any other podcast, but you clicked on this one, and we're going to prove every single reason why you need to tune in because today's show is jam-packed with some great gems.
Yes.
But before we get to the gems.
First of all, happy Women's Month to all the women.
Yes.
Shout out to everyone who we've met this past week. We just attended the Women in Radio Conference. We've been working a lot of rooms. So if you are in the building from that new little business card we've been passing out, shout out to you. Be sure to leave us a voicemail at the end of this episode with all of your thoughts on what we will be discussing today. Please
share it with your friends too. Like she said, we met a lot of people in the past couple of weeks. So share this podcast. Let the message be spread. We out here doing it for the culture.
Yes, we are. And this episode is always, and every episode will be sponsored by Her Wine. You can visit herwines.com. Use code Don't Sleep to purchase a bottle of wine. We are sipping on Mama Needs a Break this month for Women's Month. And you don't have to be a physical mama. Yeah. It's just Mama need a break.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Women's Month, we all need a break. We need to reflect, connect,
we deserve that to ourselves
and uplift one another. So let's do that with a bottle of Her Wine today. And without further ado, we're about to hop straight into the culture list. Let's dissect the wins and L's for the culture this week.
By the time you're listening to this show, this will be Andrew Young's 90th birthday. So happy birthday to a trailblazer, a living legend among us all. He turns 90 years old. He is, of course, the former mayor of Atlanta and a dear friend to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's being honored all week in Atlanta and all across the world, especially during this time of racial tension and violent invasion abroad. Right on time. So yesterday or Thursday, the city of Atlanta gathered for the Peace Walk in honor of him. He spoke to a crowd gathered in Centennial Olympic Park before the march began, and they traveled down to the Rodney Cook Senior Park in Vine City, where they unveiled a statue of him. Shout out to this picture of me and my mama. And
Brittany wanted her photo op to go live.
I did. We got a chance to meet him. He actually stopped and had great conversation. I met him at the private screening of Kerry Washington's American Son in 2019. Okay. And he really, people don't know this, he was the person that held Dr. Martin Luther King after he was shot.
Wow.
Yes, this is Black history. This is living Black history. And so for years, he actually grappled with survivor's guilt because they talked about, shooting the strategist and not the dreamer. And so many would like to say, or many, say that bullet was a double-edged sword for them both. And so as we live today in 2022, right, and we see that a lot of these, trailblazers have now transitioned to become ancestors. So we really need to give this man, this living legend, his flowers.
Yes.
Because he is the last of a fast diminishing breed, and he's got 90 years on this earth, and we're so thankful for him. So happy birthday to living history, Andrew Young.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Up next on the list, we've got
We've got Pharrell, Mariah Carey, and the Isley Brothers inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So June, as you all should know by now, okay, it's Black Music Month. And the Songwriters Hall of Fame is returning after a 2-year hiatus from COVID. I think, is COVID over?
No, but I mean,
that's what they
still
said.
Outside.
They said COVID is over, so I don't know. Y'all tell me, and I'll let you know.
Ain't dead. In 10 years, it's gonna be like COVID ain't dead.
I'll let y'all know if I get it because I've been outside, no mask.
Oh no, you
just vibes.
Don't get it, girl.
And I don't want it because words have power. Okay, but this year they will be honoring new inductees Mariah Carey, Pharrell Williams, and his partner Chad Hugo. The Neptunes. Shout out to Anisha. That's her favorite group. She loves.
Really?
She loves Pharrell.
Didn't know that. Okay.
She loves Pharrell. All 4 members of the Isley Brothers.
Yes.
Even though we have 2 pictures here, but you're gonna get the 2. Okay. But they are, and other notable rock and roll Hall of Famers will be in the recognized as well. So shout out to them. In 2019, they recognized Missy Elliott, Yusuf Cat Stevens. They were inducted with legendary singer-songwriter John Prime and Tom T. Hall, all behind-the-scenes hit makers like Dallas Austin. Oh, and behind-the-scenes hit makers like Dallas Austin. Priscilla Renee, Money Long. She gonna be honored too?
No, that was a little caveat for me. One day, I can't wait to acknowledge Priscilla Renee because she deserves it too. And for y'all who just tapping in on Hours and Hours, that's Money Long. But
everybody. I didn't know who she was. Everybody has a story, and I'm glad that she's stepping from behind the scenes. I wonder how many other people behind the scenes are really making it happen.
Right.
But she has that voice, like
she's attempted to step from behind the scenes numerous times before. But again, it's all about timing and consistency. And baby, that's why she changed her name to Money Long, to let y'all know she ain't new to this. She true to this. Okay. Period.
I can sing, y'all. Can I sing to you? Yeah. I'm just kidding. Okay, y'all. Ooh, I've been watching this. And we got something to say about this.
Yes.
Brittany Griner.
Into the L list.
You know what? This week was not heavy on the win side.
Right. And if we miss the win, then tap in on the comments or leave us a voicemail because we definitely want to report the good black news. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a difficult week for us to get through a lot of things. So if we miss something, still an opportunity for you to tap in with us. But unfortunately, we got to discuss what's going on with my good namesake sister, Brittany.
Yeah, that's all it is. But Miss Brittany was arrested February 17th in Russia.
Yes.
For having the valves of the hash that go inside the vape pens that y'all like to take, that y'all like to partake in. I don't know why y'all be doing all that. I don't know why y'all be doing all that. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
The vape stuff?
The vape, the oils. Y'all doing too much. Just break it down and roll it up. Anyway, she's accused of crossing the Russian border with this stuff in her luggage. So she was at the airport. And you're not supposed to be having that stuff at the airport.
Well, that's the thing. See, you have to be careful with certain countries that you go to. Like, people travel to the Caribbean. Marijuana is a substance that's not illegal over there in those countries. But in countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia's a hardcore place. A few other small countries in Europe, they have stringent rules on it. Even if you get sick, and you have THC in your body, in your blood system, whether you smoked 20 days ago and it's still in your system and you got sick on the premises, that's illegal. And you can serve up to 10 years in Russian prison for something like that.
And this is what Brittany Griner is ultimately facing right now.
Right.
10 years in prison. But the reason why this is such a unique story right now is because of the U.S.'s relationship with Russia right now about Ukraine.
Right.
And a lot of the news is reporting that Russia likes to trump up charges on different U.S. citizens when they are in captivity with the Russians. However, they feel like Russia will use her as like a pawn in a sense with this whole Ukraine situation.
And see, that's the thing. The media has actually been advised not to promote and blow this story into the stratosphere as it's happening right now for that very reason. And so the premise of this is that it is a legal battle. And so she's been cut off from the U.S. Embassy. Basically, they've been trying to assist her and bring legal people over there to help her. Of course, it's going crazy right now, but essentially, even us talking about it now, I mean, it's already out, so we're going to talk about it. But this had been going on for 3 weeks to the day as of yesterday.
Right.
And it was not supposed to reach the media because if the Russian government sees how influential and impactful this is to us over here, then it's said that they would attempt to manipulate the situation and hold it out. So,
right.
So really, they wanted to keep this quiet.
Right.
So that nobody would know because it's so tense over there.
Right.
So that she would have had better chances. But now that the Russians see that the United States is rallying behind her, which is ironic because y'all know the reason why she went over there in the first place.
Because she ain't get no money with us over here in the States.
And that's also a twisty thing too. We talk about, woman equality. It's Women's Month. We want to be paid equal pay and stuff like that. But do you watch WNBA?
No.
Neither do I. And nobody else pretty much watches WNBA. Every single year, the NBA has to spend $10,000 to bail out the WNBA because they do not make a profit. So there's no way. And I'm here for women getting equal pay, but you have to earn it, right? The NBA profits hand over foot because people like to watch men play basketball. So the money is there. The WNBA, they cannot play their players because they cannot pay their players because nobody is checking for it. So women talk about, we need equal rights, we need equal pay, even in the WNBA, but women are not watching, and neither are men.
But at the same time, I feel like the NBA or whoever is a part or behind or funds the WNBA could be doing a better job. They be giving them players their ass to kiss when it comes down to things, especially when, I want to say last year or whenever they were doing the Summer Olympics, the men's training room or workout room or whatever was way different than what the women were given.
Who was going, and I agree, I definitely agree, but who was going to pay for it? They need to give them the same, playing field, but it has to be, if they give them the same playing field, are people going to watch it?
They have to make that marketing investment to get people to watch it. If they know that it's a passion or that there is a path for women's basketball, they have to invest into that.
They have though. In 2008, they shelled out more than what they usually do monthly, and they did that campaign that lasted for 3 seasons, and the audience was not well receiving of it. So if we want, like for example, if we want to advocate for equal pay for women athletics, specifically women's sports, we have to show that we want to see it.
Right. I'm not advocating for it because I don't really give a fuck. But at the same time, I just want to say this. Like I said before, y'all are athletes. Just like I am a mom, I am whoever I am, and everybody has their titles. When you take certain positions, you know what you're supposed to be doing and you know what you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You knew that you are not supposed to be doing that as a basketball player.
As a person, period. You can't do that in Russia.
You cannot do that. So why are you doing it?
And see, that's another thing.
People think they can scapegoat, they can get out of anything that they want to, and now you're sitting in a Russian jail in the middle of a war, and then Putin done went to Ukraine the week after it happened.
Right. My prayers for Brittany Griner for sure, and all of her supporters. I hope that we can get them together. Moving on to the next L for this week, Jussie Smollett finally received his verdict. The Empire Star is going to receive 30 months of felony probation, which also includes 150 days in jail, and he's ordered to pay restitution. Baby, the check is long, $120,000 and a $25,000 fine for making false reports to police that he was a victim of a police hate crime or of a hate crime and a Anyway, the thing about it, after he received his sentencing, he is holding on to the fact that he did not make this up. He insists that he is still innocent. He insisted that he said that he respects the judge who made the decision and the jury, but he still stands by saying that he did not do this. Then he turned to the court and said, I'm not suicidal. And if something happens to me during these 150 days while I serve in jail, please know that it was not from me. Now, what do you think about that?
I think that we need to talk to Lee Daniels about what the fuck was going on them sets of Empire, because that cast has lost their mind. Bashir Gray, crazy nut.
Oh, he's from Philly. What he do? He just had a baby too.
That man be in and out of jail every other month.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You ain't know that? Google it. At this point, we need a think piece and a deep case study on what the hell was going on the set of Empire.
For the men, because the women are flourishing. Grace Byers coming out with another book Taraji just at the top. You saw she just landed that role as Suge.
Mm-hmm. Precious.
Gabri Sidibe found love. Do not do that. She done had roles after Precious. No, she did not say. Gabby, it was not me.
I just didn't know your name, Gabby. I'm sorry at the moment, but yeah, Gabby, they all shine. But I think we need to do a deep. We need to do a detox with Lee Daniels
and see
what happened because did he lie or not? Did he lie or not?
Well, his family is also Jesse's family is also standing by him to say that he did not lie. I mean, but the proof is in the pudding. Now, however the story is spun, I think, and the judge said that he was narcissistic, arrogant, selfish, and disgraceful. And, you know, I'm not saying that I do not disagree. However, what he said at the end, we do have to be very mindful. We have to be on alert and send our prayers of protection for him, because our black brothers and sisters go behind bars and they don't get a chance to come out sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
So, because the world has been watching this case, it's been so public. He's made a whole lot of enemies because the black world was so in protection and defense of him at first. Who knows what he's going to face when he goes behind, you know, when he goes in for those 150 days. I do pray for his safety. I hope that nothing happens. I'm glad that he went on record and said, if something happens to me, know that it's not from me.
They need to just put him in a holding cell. In a not a holding cell, in
Private
isolation. Yeah, for them 150 days, and we gonna hope he sees it out. Okay, let's get into this Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
Okay, because I ain't want to fuck that up. Ryan Coogler detained in an ATL bank, and this happened in not Atlanta, right around the corner from where Amaretta was doing the video at. Somebody noticed the big KFC chicken.
Yeah, it was actually off West Paces Ferry. It was the Bank of America off West Paces Ferry.
The way I would be withdrawing all of my money from Bank of America and putting it somewhere else after my own sister, black sister, calls the police falsely, because me as a black man want to walk into the bank with discretion and pass you a slip because I'm trying to get cash to handle my business.
Yeah.
You stereotype me. You cast type me. You, what's the word? I'm missing it.
Falsely accused, for sure.
Falsely accused.
The problem, okay.
What's the problem? The problem is her. The problem is the bank.
Here we go. You know, the black culture aficionado, I'm going to have to say what I got to say. The media, the world has done such an immaculately good job of vilifying black people and black men specifically.
Right. That
sometimes our own have come to believe the type of shit that they put out about us.
Right.
This happened. This man walks into a bank in the middle of January, dressed for the weather, in a scully and a hoodie because it's cold outside, and a mask because at that time we were still under a citywide mask mandate. Mm-hmm. And of course he wears sunglasses because this is Ryan Coogler. He is not just some fly-by-night, nondescript wannabe celebrity. He's
a director.
Nailed 4 and 2 major franchise movies and films. He is somebody that you would, I mean, I've seen his face all over, so I'm pretty sure that he's recognizable. But had a white man in a suit walked in there and done the same thing, he actually greeted the woman. It wasn't like he walked in and just slid a sheet of paper. He greeted the woman. He said, hello, good morning, etc. He slid the note. The note said, I'd like to withdraw $12,000 and please do the money count elsewhere because I'd like to be discreet.
Right.
He says that he does this every single time because he has to pay his care providers that take care of his children and, you know, someone else that's sick in the family. This woman, this black woman, one of our sisters, is a perfect example of the effects of what happens when the world does such a great job of creating this stereotype. You know what I'm saying? So she only sees a man in a hoodie, in a scully. Forget that it's probably 40 degrees outside because probably everybody else is dressed similarly.
Right.
Wearing a mask.
Right.
What else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to walk in the bank with the mask on. And automatically she feels threatened. Not once did he raise his voice.
He ain't have no weapons.
He had no weapon. When she felt threatened and decided to walk away, literally she said, I'll be right back. She went to the back. He thought that she was doing the money count in private. Unbeknownst to him, she calling 12. Right, and the police walk in with their guns drawn.
And they could have killed the man in the bank for no reason. And it would have been at the hands of her her oversight or her fear of whatever the hell. But and I think we've beat this, but I want to say this. Y'all need to stop asking Amaretta shit, okay? So Amaretta goes on the...
Who said that? Who asked her anything?
Oh, my God. Raquel.
Who was Raquel?
She goes on Raquel's show, and Raquel asks her, because outside of Atlanta, everyone sees Atlanta as this black mecca. Like black Hollywood. It's black as fuck. It's black people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's not really a lot of racist things per se that come out of Atlanta. So she was asking her, do a lot of racist things happen in Atlanta that we're not privy to?
What'd she say? What did Amaretta say?
That the white people really cool and that she never really experienced racism. Now, what I want to put out there is something that you have told me time and time again. Since we are privileged enough to live in affluent black communities, we have been sheltered from the different experiences that someone in maybe Macon might have experienced, where you went to school,
Valdosta,
Metter,
Statesboro, Douglas,
all of those other places in Georgia. Because baby, Georgia is racist as fuck. Y'all saw what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. No, to answer your question, Raquel, no, there are not a lot of racist things per se that happen in Atlanta. But you can't really say that. Like, right. It's all experience based. It's all experience. Yeah. You can't really ask Amaretta, who don't know what Atlanta is, first of all,
right,
about what's going on in Atlanta.
So when you ask those type of questions, instead of saying, does this happen in Atlanta? Because first off, she's not a spokesperson for the city, because
just because she made a song, right?
Nah. And she's Second, make sure that when you're asking those questions, you're speaking directly to the person's experience. That a better way to ask that question, Raquel, would have been, in your experience, Amaretta, have you had any experiences that were, racially fueled? Because I personally have a totally different answer for that. And I know that my experience is not the same as yours. It's not the same as our producer, Philip, in the studio. It's not the same as anybody's. So that type of question is really objective unless you want to get down to the facts and look at the facts of it. And the facts will tell you that that's not the case.